Hey world, how are you? This is Prince, political correspondent for princesdailyjournal.com, and as you can see, I am in the city, beautiful Coronado, California. And as you see behind me, we're actually sitting down in Starbucks here, having my coffee, and the man sitting next to me happens to be the boss of Coronado, California. People call him Mr. T Knox or Mr. T, but his name is Mr. Casey Tanaka. So, thank you, Mayor, for joining us.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
It's an awesome experience. So, the Mayor, wow, what can I ask you? Well, let's first actually go ahead and introduce yourself to the world and tell us what you do today.
My name is Casey Tanaka. I'm the Mayor of Coronado. I have been teaching AP U.S. History to 11th graders at Coronado High School and 12th grade government to also high schoolers at Coronado High School. And for the last 6 years, I've been the Mayor of Coronado, and for the last 11 years or so, I've been a member of the Coronado, actually the last 12 years, I've been a member of the Coronado City Council.
That's wonderful. So tell me, can you give us a rundown of how you became the Mayor of Coronado? And tell me, does it have its good days and bad days? Are you enjoying it overall?
Well, first, I love being the Mayor of Coronado. Coronado is a city of about 25,000. I tell people that because we're a smaller city, it's easier to manage. It's easier for someone like me to get their head around it.
Yeah.
So I do enjoy that. I went to school here in Coronado. I graduated from Coronado High School in 1994. I went off to college at UCSD, and I came back. I've been teaching history at the high school since 1999. So I would say that my understanding of politics in Coronado is that usually people who have strong roots in the city are the ones who win elections. And so my predecessor as mayor is someone who graduated from Coronado and came back, and I have a similar story as his successor. That I served, I went to school here in town, I teach here in town, so people I think have a reason to trust me and put some faith in me in terms of being someone who is in this for the greater good and not for my own good.
Oh, that's good. Well, also to let you know, Mayor, that I did vote for you and my family as well.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right, Mayor. So I want to ask you this question: is that a lot of my audience, especially myself, don't understand that Coronado is actually a body. It's a government body. So explain how Coronado works and what makes it so great.
Well, in San Diego County, there are 18 cities. Coronado is one of those 18 cities. What makes us a city is that we're incorporated. In other words, we're a legal entity. We could be sued. We can sue. We exist in the eyes of the law. For instance, La Jolla is not a city. It's just a community of San Diego. There's no such thing as the city of La Jolla. There's no such thing as the city of Pacific Beach, the city of Ocean Beach. Those are all parts of the city of San Diego. So Coronado is a real city, and it's the city of Coronado. The other thing I think people often don't understand about cities is that a mayor like myself, I don't run the city. So when someone tries to compliment me and say, hey, you're doing a good job running the city, I have to smile. But that's not exactly how cities are run. Like the business model where you have a board of directors and that board hires a CEO, that's actually how cities are run. So I'm not the CEO. I'm not the person who runs Coronado on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
I'm actually more the chairman of the board. So the city council would be the board of directors. I chair the city council, and so the mayor is the chairman of the board of the city council. And we hire a CEO, we hire a city manager who, in fact, runs the city.
Wow, I did not know that. Thank you for sharing that information with me and also my audience out there.
Well, one thing I'll add is most people are familiar with mayors and they think they get what a mayor does. And so it's pretty common for someone to want to have a meeting with me with this sense that I somehow have the unilateral control. And my job is really to be more of a liaison in that meeting to explain to them either who they should be talking to or to help connect them to the right person. But some people would be surprised to know there are no employees in the city of Coronado that I can unilaterally fire. No one works for me directly. Everyone works for the city council as a whole. But the city manager can unilaterally fire the police chief, the fire chief, city employees, because that's the difference between being the CEO like the city manager and being the chairman of the board like the mayor.
Wow, thank you. Thank you. Now, I want to get into the most recent event that happened here in Coronado. We had a very, very special event here. The Coronado Village Theater actually hosted a private screening for Travis Mills. For those of you who may not know Travis Mills, he is a combat veteran who lost all 4 limbs in combat in Afghanistan. And I understand that you, as well as actor Gary Sinise, hosted a private screening for him, his family, and others. So tell me, how important was that for you to host an event, and as well as how important that was for Coronado?
Well, it was certainly a great honor for me to be there. I think it was an even bigger honor for the city of Coronado to be selected for this screening. The screening was for a movie called Chavis, A Soldier's Story. And as Prince mentioned, Chavis is one of 5 quadruple amputees from Afghanistan. And so the movie Chavis, A Soldier's Story is, I think, what's known as a photomentary, where initially the idea had come from photos of Chavis's experience, and eventually a movie director took up this story using those photos and then using the real individuals involved in his story. So Chavis, as well as his comrades in the, I think it was the 82nd Airborne. And that movie has individual screenings, so the Coronado Village Theater was able to have one of those screenings. But the point of the screenings is to try to get it to wider audiences and greater distribution. Gary Sinise's role in this is he has a foundation called the Gary Sinise Foundation, and he knows Chavis's story, he knows how compelling it is, and this is the great thing about Gary Sinise. He is just trying to use his star power to get Chavis's story more broadly heard. And so the reason it was an honor is everyone knows what a real patriot Gary Sinise is, and how he's, I think, rather unique in the Hollywood firmament for using his clout to try to help support the American service member. And this is just a great example of it. And so for his foundation to select Coronado in our village theater, I can't think of a greater honor in that regard than to be the home or the host for such a great screening.
Wow, thank you for that. And also, thank you for hosting it as well.
Well, believe me when I say I had the smallest, least significant part.
Okay.
But the great thing about being the mayor is I do get to act on behalf of a grateful citizenry, and we certainly were very honored to have that screening here in town.
Right, well, before we end this interview, I have 2 things to ask you. Is one, what makes Coronado such a great destination for people from all over the world to come and enjoy themselves? What is your reason?
So I'm a history teacher, so I'll tell you what makes Coronado such a great destination for people to visit is its geography. Obviously, we have terrific weather, but we also have a beach and a bay. We're a flat, piece of land, so it's easy to move around. It's easy to bicycle, and it's sort of like we're surrounded by a moat. So we're completely surrounded by water on 3 sides. The one side that isn't surrounded by water is thin, narrow, and kind of off to the side. So that's why people call Coronado Island, because we kind of function as an island. And that means that when people visit Coronado, they kind of get to take a step back in time. Because we have a lot of very old homes and well-manicured lawns and great streets. But I think that people like that sort of small-town feel. They like being able to wander around our community and feel relatively safe. And the things that draw anyone, great weather, beautiful beaches, great geography, we have all of that here in town. And then we have some other wild cards that a city of our size wouldn't have, like half of the SEAL teams are here in Coronado. About 25% or so of the Navy's carrier fleet is here in Coronado. The greatest hotel in the region, the Hotel del Coronado, a hotel that recently celebrated its 125th anniversary here in town. There's so much to visit and do in Coronado, and to do it in kind of a secluded, safe way, I think is a pretty unique experience for people.
Great. Well, I think that's going to wrap up my interview. Thank you so much, Mayor, for sitting down with me. Thank you guys for tuning in. And also, if my audience out there who wants to visit Coronado for the very first time, where can they reach you? Or, where can they reach you?
Well, I like to think if you Google me, Casey Tanaka, C-A-S-E-Y-T-A-N-A-K-A, if you just Googled me, you'll find a number of ways to reach me. Email is the best way. If you can figure out how to spell my name, my email address is ctanaka@coronado.ca.us. Also, I have my own email address. If you just can figure out my name, Casey Tanaka, my email is casey@caseytanaka.com. So email's probably the easiest. You can find my phone number very easily if you Google me. If you Google the city of Coronado, you should, Mayor Tanaka or something like that, you should be able to find those things. But email's probably the best way to get a hold of me.
Well, that's awesome. Well, guys, the best way to reach hold of me is go to my website, princessdailyjournal.com, for all the links. Scroll down and click the links below. Until next time, be good to yourself and stay classy. All right, say goodbye.
Bye.